Welcome, Aquarius. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your new moon in Aries reading. This is the same event, essentially, as the solar eclipse, which I have spoken about, but they're within minutes of each other on April the 8th, if not seconds. However, focusing on the new moon aspect allows me to talk a little bit about the impact this is having on you. And the impact for you, Aquarius, is going to be in the area of not only your communication, particularly with intimates, but the way that you process information, the way you learn, the way you're understanding things. So the third house is very significant. I'm going to do personal readings. The information for that is in the description box below. I have been doing them. I thank you all for your presence here right now and for your generous donations, your comments, your appreciations, your feedback. It's greatly appreciated. So let's get started, Aquarius, with your overall energy. The Eight of Swords. I don't read upside down cards. Okay, this one was upside down. You know, it's interesting. I am going to read it in the way that I pulled it out because I think it makes sense to me. So ordinarily, this card is about being stuck, over-analyzing, being imposed upon by other people's opinions, ideas, input, unsolicited, particularly. In this position, it suggests that you are releasing that. Because you are a cerebral, innovative, inventive thinker, you are highly intuitive, you are capable of thinking outside of the box, moving off in an original direction. You're not a follower. However, this indicates to me that you are and because of those things, you attract the opinions of others who disagree, who resist, who agree, who want to hear more about your ideas. And at this time, I find you being able to fend off or protect yourself from the particularly unsolicited opinions about your activities, your behaviors, your ideas, your actions. And so there is a sense where you don't have to think about, analyze, overthink the way that others are offering strategies, their opinions. Instead, you are really releasing all of that mental, cerebral clutter and really moving from a place of your intuition. The planet Uranus is the planet of revolution. It is about the turning of the wheel, the disruption of patterns, the unexpected. And as a result, that describes your ability to receive information by letting go of what is and really allow yourself to be moved by your intuitive information, knowledge from that source. So I'm reading this in a very productive way, in a way that supports a skill that you are learning about in this lifetime. One of the things you've come into this life to improve upon, develop. In the 10th house, your social position, the way you're seen in your community by others. The Three of Swords is really indicating a way in which you are deeply understanding your failures. And I'm extrapolating this to community structures and organizations. You're looking at why organizations fail or their goals have failed or tradition structures that we have honored, depended upon, relied upon for various functions of our social life are not succeeding, are not doing well, are not providing. This gives you a particular insight into the health of organizations, of community structures. There may be a particular industry or organization or effort. This can even be a business that you are tied to, where you're actually understanding very holistically how this failure, what you've learned from the failure of this structure organization, so that this is actually informing you about your audience, the needs of your audience or clients, the needs of students or community members that rely on this social function. This is a very unusual opportunity for you at this particular social and political time to have this kind of insight and to be able to address it on a human level. So you're really looking at all aspects of the health of an organization or the failure of that with a view to improving it. In the first house, the King of Cups. Wow. So there is a real emotional tone here to the cards thus far that are describing your emotional maturity. And that is part of the way in which you are attracting and being asked to consult, to advise others on an individual and on a social collective level. There's a way in which you have experienced failures and challenges, seen them in a global way that helps you to accept that this ability to fail and the tropes around failure, right? You can fail 1,000,000 times in order to succeed once. In fact, failure is a requirement of success. And in that way, you're actually turning this ability to break down your failures and to learn, to gain, understand what has been learned, how you have advanced, how you've transformed a failure, a disappointment, into advisement, into support for those that are experiencing this now. It's a way of turning vulnerability inside out so that what others perceive as a weakness becomes a strength. And this can be particularly prescient during these times when so much is changing, so much is failing and collapsing, how we are collectively addressing that and repurposing our institutions or even our needs. In the fourth house, the house of your home, your family, your roots and foundation, this is feeling really personal suddenly, although I recognize that our personal experiences contribute to our functionality in the collective. At this time, I'm seeing you actually processing a pattern of failures and disappointments on your own behalf. Perhaps it has been a familial history of trauma or loss that you're experiencing. Perhaps it is a pattern of choosing inappropriate partners or projects that demand a lot and do not deliver on whatever promise there is. Again, through that process of accepting, mourning, understanding your responsibility in that failure or hurt, you have gained a greater ability to connect deeply with all parts of yourself, and that includes the part of you that is a potential, that speaks to your authentic needs and facilitates your authentic expression. I hope this is making sense. The seventh house, the house of your significant relationships, shows you putting something together, a project, a business, an effort that requires you to collect up information, contacts, to network, to reach out, to do research, to follow down leads, to look at models that would be productive for an effort you're looking at. You're probably doing this in collaboration with others with similar goals, but you're really taking services and skills, talents that you have, and you're facing outward towards unfamiliar arenas, fields of activity, and you're actually waiting for some of the feedback of your now tentative efforts at moving forward, building something, and you're finding the pieces of that creation. I'm going to pull a Soul's Journey card, Aquarius. If this is resonating for you, please like this video, share it with others, comment. I love hearing your thoughts, and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. It is deeply appreciated. There's an upside down thing going on here today, and I pulled the Peace card. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. There's really something profound here that I'm sensing. The emotions that I'm tapping into on your behalf, Aquarius, are deeply profound, and they're somewhat uncharacteristic. In other words, you're able to see intuitively into a dynamic, a pattern of creation, of giving love, of receiving love that is both personal and is something that is having a huge social or global impact. And of course, I'd be curious to know what some of you are working on. I definitely feel there is something around social impact or global, the environment, but it can also be in any area of your creative abilities. I pull the Egyptian cobra. You have power and grace. Know when to use your voice and when to use your venom. Solomon's seal is associated with the Egyptian cobra, and the key word is wisdom. I'm going to clarify the King of Cups in the first house with the World card in the second house and the Sun in the third house. Whoa! So you have completed quite a cycle. You have been on a journey, and you are likely receiving some recognition and reward for what it is you've been able to achieve. Part of that reward is the lessons learned, the lessons that have helped you to analyze and understand more deeply than simply analyzing, but to understand the nature of failure or the failures that you have endured. The Sun card is indicating in the very house that's being impacted by the solar eclipse and the new moon is the area of your greatest authenticity. It's as though you have prepared yourself, you have staged prepared yourself for a new journey, a new adventure, a new enterprise, a new project that really is aiming at your authentic expression. It's has gained from the experience of repeated frustration and disappointment in order to peel away the layers of illusion from your heart in many ways, exposing your playful, imaginative inner child. And that inner child is feeling not only courageous, but engaged in the enjoyment the pleasure of the enlightenment that you are bringing into your own heart and into the environment that you're within. You're even being asked to provide this illumination to other individuals or organizations. So there's a kind of restructuring that I'm sensing from the insights you're gaining, the ability to deeply understand that and to share that with others in a way that is supporting them to find a similar authenticity, to allow a certain joy and pleasure in the abundance of the universe to emerge. In the fourth house, the Five of Cups is clarified by the Ace of Earth in the fifth house and the Seven of Air in the sixth house. You have absolutely manifested this new expressive opportunity for yourself. You are concretizing it. What you are expressing is manifesting as a concrete opportunity to build something long-lasting, something that is serviceable, something that is practical, something that is grounded. You may be receiving a fair amount of resistance to your ideas, and this is not a new experience for you. You may be familiar with people thinking you're way far out, or too extreme, or too radical, or just too offbeat, and that perhaps historically has gained you a kind of unfair criticism, dismissal, discrediting, or gossip, things that may have blocked you in the past. Instead, you're understanding that your powerful understanding of success, by understanding failure and how one grows and improves and moves towards success through the process of failure, is actually helping you to realize that resistance is part of success. There are those who do not understand, do not support, or approve of your ideas. And instead of that blocking your efforts or you internalizing that, you now are choosing your battles, knowing that this experience of resistance is just part of the process, so that you are not blocked and fully capable of finding the support for your ideas from elsewhere. You're not leaning on the familiar setting or those that customarily resist your ideas to change their minds. Absolutely not. You know that you're on a productive path and you're moving forward, honing your ideas, taking in feedback along the way. The Three of Wands in the seventh house is clarified by the Ten of Air, and in the eighth house, in the Messenger of Air in the ninth house. You are in your zone as the King of Air. You are able to facilitate new ideas. You're very comfortable with being curious out loud, asking the right questions, being dispassionate about the answers that you truly listen to. You're asking because you're not making any assumptions about the way that your ideas or your efforts are landing for others. This is an effort to improve upon the way your products or services are received, so that you understand the impact that you're having and are looking for ways to improve that. There are many offers for your ideas. In fact, I see you actually in some public forum or public opportunity to talk about your ideas, to share your ideas. And that kind of goes back to something I picked up on earlier around your ability to be invited to support other organizations or individuals who are looking to repurpose, refit, regrow, remediate their efforts. So I can see you in an advising role. And it's interesting with the King of Cups and the King of Water. So there's both a supportive and gentle way in which you offer your personal understanding as a way of exposing your vulnerability. And that makes your message, your advisement, fall much more gently on those that are asking to hear it. Because this is information that is not easy for established organizations or businesses to really hear, that something perhaps they've been doing for a long time isn't working, isn't landing, isn't serving, and thus is not profitable or productive. But you have a very gentle way of sharing that information. The Three of Swords in the 10th house is clarified by the Five of Fire in the 11th house and the Magician in the 12th house. So yes, you are in the thick. You have rolled up your sleeves around developing what is feeling like a think tank, a consultancy, a discourse, a conversation, a dialogue with of various communities, various individuals, perhaps as part of a specific industry or generally as part of an academic or business conference. You are looking to solve problems and you are facilitating collaboration. This is your particular skill, but it is one that requires your facilitation masked as fronting your actual leadership. Your curiosity is what's leading this effort and why you are so productive and so in demand. It's because you're able to join into your classroom, your clients, your audience in a way that fully engages all the members and moves from this place of strength, of intention. This is really an expression of your empowerment, and it's a way that you're sharing this empowerment with others at an individual level, at an organizational level that gives permission for others to come from their place of strength, their place of expertise, their place of talent, and be confident in the ability to work with others on a similar and respectful playing field. So there's something emerging out of this entire process that is ultimately leading to a new creation, a new project, a new thing that you're building. And this process that you're undergoing is leading you to that. Perhaps the consulting with others, the sharing what you've learned, the ability to break down failures as a part of success, but in a holistic way that speaks to your emotional intelligence, validates the emotional intelligence of others. Most interesting, somewhat esoteric reading, Aquarius. I love this. I'm going to finish this off with a crystal oracle and hope that you are gaining something from this. You can leave comments as you so choose. And I pulled the Amazonite. Loosen your grip. Interesting. Thank you so much, Aquarius, for this powerful reading. Until next time, namaste.